Now with these last 4, but especially the next 3, I think I'm gonna be controversial. Oh, hold up. There you go, all clean again. How does that feel? I'm so excited. I'm so stoked because today I'm gonna be tearing the Friday the 13th franchise. This is my all-time favorite franchise ever, not just horror. So keep in mind that if I put one movie low, I still love that movie. I love every single installment of this franchise, which is why it's my favorite franchise. Every installment has something to it that I enjoy. So let's stop fucking rambling on for 10 seconds and just do it. Damn it. Starting with the original, Friday the 13th. Now, the first time I watched this, I had a Blu-ray that had Jason on the cover. And I was really disappointed when Jason wasn't in the film, so I didn't like it at all. And because of that, it was also really slow, because I was like, where's Jason? Where's the dude with the hockey mask, you know? And I hadn't seen any of the other Friday the 13th films, so... But ever since, I've seen it a couple times, and last time I saw it, I really, really enjoyed it. Like, yeah, I fucking enjoyed the hell out of it. It's definitely one of those atmospheric slasher films that can feel a bit slow but still good, you know, a good kind of slow, much like with Halloween, where it's super atmospheric and where the slower scenes are still super atmospheric, which is why it's still awesome. I feel like this movie also nails that pretty well. It has some good kills. The ending is great. It's always a bit confusing. I mean, it's a dream sequence, but then he's also actually there, so I guess that makes sense. Friday the 13th, the first one, easily A. I think if I would have done this tier list before the last time I saw it, it would have been B, but the last time I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Friday the 13th Part 2. Now, this is one of my favorites. I really love this one. I feel like it adds a lot to the first movie, which makes it a great fucking sequel. This is how a sequel to a slasher movie especially should be done. Take the same premise, kind of, add more to it, change some things up, make it its own thing, and they knocked it out of the park with this one. I love the characters. I interviewed one of the characters, which if you've not seen that interview, great interview. Loved getting to talk to Bill Randolph, aka Jeff, in Friday the 13th Part 2. He was amazing to talk to. I interviewed him, so check it out if you haven't seen that interview. He's one of the most charismatic guys in slasher history, and in real life, he's no different. One of the strongest final girls. Did we even mention that yet? I mean, I don't need to tell you more about her. She's amazing. She's been talked about many times. She's probably the best final girl in the Friday the 13th franchise. So, yeah, as you can tell, I'm talking really highly of this movie. It's gonna go S tier, baby. It's one of my favorites. It's not my favorite. We'll get to that, but it's really good. Friday the 13th Part 3. 3D. It's a really fun movie. What can I tell you? Bad acting, the story, the premise, what's there to it? It's the first movie where Jason gets his hockey mask. Every chance they get, they shove objects in your face and weapons in your face. So, speaking of that, cheers. So good. But yeah, it's one of those movies where it's tough to tier, because Friday the 13th is such a diverse franchise, especially in quality. I could put this A as entertainment value, but it's nowhere near as good as the first one. So I'm gonna go B. I mean, I know I made this joke like 10,000 times in my tier list, but it's a B movie. What can I tell ya? Friday the 13th, the final chapter. The penultimate slasher film, I would say, from the 80s at least. This hits all the boxes of a slasher movie, a classic slasher movie, in all the right ways imaginable. Yeah, it's the perfect slasher movie, quite honestly. It's easily the best of the first 4. So, just spoiler alert, it's gonna go S tier. Great effects, one of the best Jasons, awesome characters. Now, Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. Again, just like with Part 3, it's such an awful movie that it's super entertaining. And when you think about it, everything that happens in this film happens because of a chocolate bar. Just process that. I'll give you some time. A fucking chocolate bar, man. But regardless of that, it's such a fun fucking movie, man. Come on, damn it. That's why it's my favorite franchise, because if I'm drunk, I'll watch Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. And if I'm completely sober and in for a really good movie, then I'll watch Part 1, 2, or 4. For every fucking mood, there's a Friday the 13th movie, which is why it's my favorite franchise. But A New Beginning, B tier. Fucking B tier. I love Roy's look too. Roy's look is really cool. Jason Lives. This is a fucking perfect movie. This is one of my all-time favorites in general, not just Friday movies. I love this one. The direction is amazing. The comedy is amazing. This movie is just perfect to me. It did meta comedy before Scream made it cool. It has a fun story. It has an amazing soundtrack by Alice Cooper. This movie is the reason I listen to metal today. Easily S. This is one of those movies that defines me. Seriously, and I'm not exaggerating. Friday the 13th Part 7, New Blood. I really enjoyed this film. I remember the first time I saw it, I wasn't too big on it, but having rewatched it a couple times, I really love this one. I love the idea of just having a classic Jason movie at Camp Crystal Lake and then throwing this random bizarre thing in it and having fun with it. I mean, I know it's kind of like Carrie versus Jason, but I love that concept. I love the concept of, yes, it's still a classic Jason movie, but there's this twist to it with telekinesis powers and shit, you know? It's a fun movie. It has some great effects. It sucks that a lot of the gore got cut out, but regardless of that, some of the effects that are still in there are really good. I would say A tier, much like the first one. I think that's a fair spot to put it, for sure. Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. And now with these last 4, but especially the next 3, I think I'm gonna be controversial. And I have to be, because I have to be true to my heart, okay? So please don't dislike and put hate comments in the comment section. Buckle up, people. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Jason Takes Manhattan is a movie that when I first watched it, I hated it. I didn't understand why was this made like this. I didn't understand Baby Jason. I didn't understand why half of it took place on a boat. I just thought overall it was a really bad movie. And when I watched it next time, I went in with very low expectations, obviously. I think knowing the second time that it's pretty much Jason takes a boat, I think that really helped me enjoy this film. Because yes, half of it takes place on a boat, but it's still Jason killing people. Isn't that a fun fucking ride on a boat? You know? It's a fun cruise, you know? Come on, people. Cheer up. The imagery, the aesthetic, the atmosphere, like this late 80s vibe, I just fucking love. And some of the shots in New York are so amazing. I know still the ending doesn't make any fucking sense. And I still hate that ending. And Baby Jason showing up all the time. It still makes no sense and looks like shit. But other than that, I fucking love this film and I find myself revisiting this one so many times. I rewatched this one more than Part 3, Part 5, Part 7, and the original. It's easily an A movie for me. I know many people would put it F or E, but for me, I've always had a soft spot for Jason Takes Manhattan. So I just have fun with this movie, man. Really, I love it. Jason Goes to Hell. Now it's time to get really controversial. This is one of my favorite Friday movies. I fucking love this one. This is one of the most action-packed, special effects heavy movie in the Friday franchise. This one is written surprisingly well. Some of the characters have way too much depth to them for a Friday movie. I mean, in a good way, of course, but still, when you compare it to the other movies, it's like, I mean, Jason Takes Manhattan came before this movie, for Christ's sake. And then you get this with some really, like, genuinely good characters, you know? I love this movie. If you're a fan of my channel and been watching me for a while, you know I love this film. I made Kylie, aka Haunted Hippie, a fan of this film by watching it with her and then having Adam Marcus, the director of this film, confront her. She liked the film before Adam even came into the Zoom meeting. So that was just a magical moment, really. This movie even tries to explain fucking inconsistencies about the earlier films that I've been talking about. I think that's awesome, and I have a lot of respect for that. It's really funny, too. I mean, it's funnier than the new Halloween movies. Don't get me wrong, I love Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, but the comedy in this works so much better. I really can't say anything else about it. So this one easily goes S tier 2. Jason X, one of my all-time favorites. Yes, you've heard that right. This movie I can put on anytime. I watched this movie on New Year's Eve this year. Some people don't understand my love for this film, but I'll try to explain it a bit more by showing you this. These books are continuations of Jason X. So it starts with The Experiment, which takes place right after Jason X. It takes place on Earth 2. The couple you see at the end of Jason X, you follow them in this book. It's been a while since I've read it, but I think they're the main characters even. I might be wrong, but it's a really fun book because eventually they go exploring the lake on Earth 2, and Uber Jason just starts killing them out of the lake, you know? So it's like a classic Jason story, but in space. And I feel like this movie is the same way. It's a classic Friday movie, but it just takes place in a spaceship. I think it's so smart the way it's done. I freaking love it. The writing is honestly good. Like, seriously, man. The only flaw I have with this film is sometimes the spaceship kind of looks like a TV spaceship, but then again, it also kind of adds to it because it's like, I don't know, man. It's just this early 2000s vibe I just love. But yeah, I freaking love Jason X. I watch it all the fucking time. It's easily S tier for me as well. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Friday the 13th, the remake. This one I've only seen a couple times. I don't rewatch this one a lot. I realized that this is a really well-made film. It has some really good tension in it. But I don't know, it's just, for me, it's not that rewatchable. It's directed by Marcus Nispel, who's a fantastic director. He also did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, which is one of my all-time favorites. But this one, I feel, works really well, but it's just one I don't really revisit a lot, you know? And especially in the Friday the 13th context. You know, when I watch a Friday the 13th movie, I'd go to part 4 or part 6 or part 9, you know? But this one, just, it's really well made, which is why I'm gonna put it A for sure. I love the music. Jason is brutal. So pretty much I love everything about it, but to me it's a little slow at times and just not rewatchable, especially compared to the other parts. Nothing lower than B. I mean, I knew this was coming. You know, I like it when it's kind of spread out, but I always stay true to my heart, even if that means the tier list looks ugly, which this one kind of looks ugly, but there's my list. Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys not agree with me at all? Let me know in the comments down below, and in the outro you will see my most recent video, as well as a video recommended just for you, so check it out right now.